I'm Maddie, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be sharing my beginning art portfolio with you. I am not claiming to be a spectacular artist or even a good artist by making this video. I just wanted to share the pieces that I did in this class and then sort of explain briefly how I did each one. So that way, if you're interested in building your own portfolio for college or personal purposes, that way you have some ideas of pieces that you could include. And there's definitely a variety of different pieces that we did in this class, and I just feel like this would be an interesting video. I haven't really seen many of these on YouTube, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get on with the video. I'm going to not really go in order of how we did these. I'm just going to go in order of how they are in my folder. So please keep in mind some of these need to be done before others, so that way you can develop the necessary skills. But the first item that I have here is the 3D modeling project. So for this project, we did a sort of paper mache type thing. For this, you just need to cut it out of cardboard and be sure that you've made all the different sides, and you can use masking tape in places like this that would be hard to get to, and then you paper mache the whole thing and then paint it. So as you can see, it is two letter M's combined together. The paint job on this wasn't the best, but other than that, I think that this turned out really well, and especially for architecture, types of 3D modeling like this would be really good to include in your portfolio. The next item here is the chart and charcoal project. For this, we had to design an organic house and shade appropriately. So I kind of went for an acorn house. If you're an artist, you know charcoal is really messy. So I would definitely be comfortable with charcoal before starting on a final product. This wasn't my favorite project, but I still think it turned out pretty well. Next is another kind of 3D modeling type project. This was the crest project. So again, you need to make the base out of cardboard, and you could paint or do foil. I obviously did foil. So for that, you need to making sure that there are some raised surfaces, such as the little dividers, the things that were in here. We're doing multiple layers to make it more interesting. And I just did a camera and film strip, a coffee cup, a dancer, and some clouds, stars, and a moon. Then my name is up here, and this says God is woman in Latin. I think that inking it makes things stand out better, but it definitely would look cool if I had left it just the foil. But I think that this was a really fun project. The foil projects are always my favorite. This project was the colored pencil blending, and you could either do a tree design or come up with your own stained glass. So this is supposed to be a raindrop stained glass piece. Again, this is not one of my favorite ones because I was trying to do this with really small colored pencils, and you'll see in some projects later on that the blending looks a lot better, and that's because I had thicker pencils, which I would recommend for blending. But I think that a lot of really cool things could be done with this project. This is my regular pencil blending project. This was just organic shapes showing depth with the different pieces. I think a basic shading piece would be really good to include, especially for architecture or design portfolios, because a lot of times you're not really dealing with color when you're doing hand-drawn pictures, but being able to show the depth and how you're using the space is very important. And I think that good shading skills are a great asset when trying to accomplish those things. Next is the cut paper project. So for this, you just had an image. I chose the perfume bottle, the Thank You Next one by Ariana Grande, and then you cut shapes out of it. It's kind of hard to explain, but you draw it on white paper, and then you get colored paper that you put underneath it, and then you cut the shapes out so you're left with this silhouette, and then you glue it on colored paper so it stands out. I think it turned out okay for the most part, but I'm not very good with X-Acto knives, so it's definitely not my best. Okay, this was the very first project that we did, and it's what's called the kaleidoscope project. So you just simply draw the design in one of the little triangles, and then you use tracing paper to flip it over and create a kaleidoscope like pattern, and then just color it in. I think this is a really nice first project because it kind of gets you thinking creatively, but it's rather simple, so there's not a lot of like stress on it, you know, like it's a good first project. So this is my second favorite piece that I did in the class. This is a 2-point perspective drawing, and it's of a city corner. And I just think this is such a great piece to put in the portfolio because it shows buildings, and I went to architecture, urban planning, something like that. So this shows like interest in that as well. And even my art teacher said this is one of the best things that I did in the class. I'm very proud of this piece, and I will probably definitely be including this in my portfolio. So if you're interested in architecture, please give 2-point perspective a try. It's really not that bad once you figure out that all the lines have to go to the vanishing points, and I'm sure there are like numerous tutorials that can teach you that on YouTube. This is where I was saying you can definitely tell that my colored pencil blending got better. This was an independent project, so we have colored pencil blending on this side and charcoal on this side. I really like this piece a lot. I think that you can definitely see improvements in both categories, but definitely in the colored pencil blending. And I think pictures that have both regular shading and colored pencil blending and shading just look so much better than if it was just one or the other. It's just a personal thing that I like. Alright, this was the multimedia drawing that we did. So you had to take a shape out of it and do it the opposite. Obviously, I chose a Polaroid camera, and I feel like my regular shading is better than my colored pencil blending. So I did the whole camera and that, and then I chose a cloud shape to do in colored pencil. This honestly probably wasn't my best project, but I still think that it turned out pretty cute, but it probably would have looked better if it was like all in one. I just kind of feel like the cloud in there kind of looks odd, but I really like it. This is the next to last piece, and it is definitely my favorite thing that I did. This is my Ariana Grande portrait. So this is the queen herself. I love this so much, and I think this really shows shading and like technical abilities. We did the gridding system on this, so I would recommend that if you're trying to replicate a portrait. And I did receive a lot of assistance on all of these projects, but this was my first year taking art, and I think that I definitely grew as an artist this year. So shout out to my art teacher. Thank you for helping me improve so much this year. And the final piece that I'll be showing is an independent project that my mom loves so much. It's on display in my house, but I have a video clip of it and me explaining how I did it, so let's roll it. This is an independent piece. I just used pastel chalks to do the background, cut the cacti out with construction paper, same for the moon, and then used white paint and a toothbrush to achieve the star effect. I think I've shared this in a video before, so I won't elaborate too much, but I did want to share. So I did forget about this piece. This was my final project for beginning art. It was called the self-representation piece, and for this you had to pick the silhouette of an item. I chose a camera, and then replace items in that silhouette with things that you liked. So for example, the lens on this is the Starbucks logo, the grip handle is an iced coffee cup, the flash is the uprights. Then after you had everything in place, you just had to shade it accordingly, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. That's going to be all for today's video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what your favorite piece was in the video, and be sure that you're subscribed and have the bell turned on so you can be part of the hashtag M&M squad. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!